Hey guys, and welcome back to Mike and his whiteboard. My name's Mike, this is my whiteboard, and today we're going way back to the very beginning of options. We're going to talk about the put option. So a put option is essentially the right to sell 100 shares of stock at a certain strike price. So this differs, and it's similar to just selling stock outright, but we're going to break it down a little bit here. So as you can see by the graphic, when we buy a put option, it becomes more and more profitable as the stock price goes down. And again, that's because when you're buying a put option, it gives you the right to sell 100 shares of stock at that strike price. So as you can see here, if I buy a put at 110 and the stock price is at 100, if the stock price goes down to 90 and 80 and 70, I still have that right to sell my shares at 110, which is going to mean that that put contract is going to be more and more profitable. So when we compare selling stock outright to buying a put, when we short stock, we have unlimited profitability to zero because the stock cannot go past zero, so it's important to keep that in mind. And we also have unlimited time. Just like buying stock, when you're selling stock, you can hold that stock for as long as that stock is publicly traded. So if you have the ability to hold that with the amount of cash in your account, then you have unlimited time, and therefore you have unlimited time to be correct. However, with a put option, we still have unlimited profitability to zero, but we have limited time. Just like a call option, when we're purchasing a put option, we have a certain expiration date, and by that date, the put option is either going to turn into short stock or it's going to be worthless if it's out of the money. So let's break down a put option a little bit further in the next slide here. So when we're buying puts, it's important to know that we have a bearish assumption. So bearish assumption, again, is the assumption of wanting the stock to go down in price. So when we're buying puts and selling calls, as we might have seen in the previous whiteboard, we want that stock to go down because it's going to give us the ability to be profitable. Also, when we're buying put options, we have negative theta. So just like buying call options, the option is going to decay more and more as expiration nears, and that is known as theta decay. So when we're buying options, we have negative theta decay, but when we're selling options, we have positive theta decay. Because when we're selling options, the theta decay is good for us, and when we're buying options, the theta decay is bad for us. So it's shown as a negative value. When we're buying put options, we also have unlimited profitability as long as the stock goes to zero, because the stock cannot go past zero. And it's very similar to shorting stock in that sense. So when we buy options, we have unlimited profit, and when we sell options, we have limited profit. Also, when we're buying options, we have limited loss, and that's because we can't lose more than the debit we paid for that option. So if everything goes against us, let's say the stock price goes to 120 or 130, that put option is going to be considered out of the money, and at expiration, it would expire worthless. But we can't lose more than the debit we paid as long as we're purchasing options. And because of that, we have a low probability of profit. As you can see on our diagram to the right, when a stock price goes up, we're not going to be profitable in that put position because we want the stock price to go down. And also, if the stock price stays right around 100, as you see in this diagram here, we're still not going to be profitable because we need the stock price to go down, as you can see, for us to be profitable when buying a put. So when we're buying a put, we can only be profitable in one out of three ways, and that's when the stock price goes down. But let's go to the next slide, and we'll talk about what can happen if we're selling a put. So as you can see in the diagram here, it's very similar to selling a call. It's just flipped on its axis. So when we're selling a put, our max profit is capped, and the max profit is realized if the stock price is above our short strike at expiration. So as you can see here, we've got a 90 short put that we may have sold, and if the stock price is at 100, even if it goes down to 95, 94, 93, as long as it stays above 90 at expiration, we'll be able to reap our full profitability. So unlike buying a put option, selling a put option, we have a bullish assumption. So again, a bullish assumption is when we want the stock price to go up. So buying or selling a put is very similar to buying a call in that regard. Like we stated earlier, when we're selling puts or selling options in general, we have positive theta. And that's because if we sell an option here and the option decays and decays and decays over time, if we can buy it back for a lower amount, the difference in those prices is going to be our profitability. So that's why when we're selling options, you'll see a positive theta value there. Additionally, when selling options, we have limited profit, and that's because the most we can possibly make on the trade is the credit that we received in the first place. So if we sell a put, regardless of where it is, as long as it stays above our short strike at expiration, we'll be able to keep that profit, and you can see that by the horizontal line above the stock price there. Conversely, when we're talking about selling puts, we have unlimited loss when the stock goes to zero. But it's capped as long as the stock goes to zero, because as we stated before, a stock price cannot go below zero. But we don't really know what our loss can be, because if the stock price goes below 90, so if it goes to 85 or 80 or 75, we can of course calculate what that loss would be at expiration, but we'll never really know. It's not defined until we get to that expiration value. And for that reason, we have a high probability of a profit when we're looking at short options, specifically short puts. So because we have that limited profit and tying that together with the unlimited loss, we have a higher probability of success, which we can see on the profit chart to the right. So if the stock price is above our short put at expiration and the stock goes up, we'll be able to keep our credit that we originally received, as you can see here. Additionally, just like a short call, if the stock price doesn't really move at all, we can still be profitable at expiration, because all we really need to do is make sure that that strike price and the option that we sold the strike price at stays out of the money. So if the stock price hovers right around 100, as you see here, we would be fully profitable at expiration. If the stock price goes down, however, past our break-even point, that's when we would start to see a loss on the trade. And because of that, as you can see, we've got 2 out of 3 ways to be profitable when selling a put. So let's get to takeaways here, and we'll wrap it all together. So a put option gives us the right to sell shares at a premium. So on the opposite side of calls, we're looking at buying a put. So when we're looking at buying a put, we have the right to sell 100 shares of stock at a certain strike price. So basically, if the stock price goes down and I buy a put option, it's going to become more and more profitable over time, which is what allows me to sell the shares at a premium. So with that said, buying a put is a bearish strategy. So when we buy a put, we want the stock price to go down. Inversely, when we're selling a put, we want the stock price to go up, which is why selling a put is a bullish strategy. And lastly, longer dated puts will have higher premium value, just like with call options. So anytime we have an expiration date, the more days until that expiration date that we have to be correct, we're going to have to pay a higher premium for when we're buying options. And if we're selling options with the longer days till expiration, we're going to receive a higher credit for that. So thanks for tuning in. This has been a put option. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, shoot me at dough.com or support@tate, or you can shoot me at Trader Mike. And until next time, have a great night. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our video.
If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up or share it with a friend.
Click below to watch more videos, subscribe to our channel, or go to our website.